Good evening and welcome to our special Indie Admissions Live event for the Notre Dame class of 2018. If you tuned in to the first session with us, welcome back. If you're just tuning in to the second session, welcome. Just to let you know, this session will be 45 minutes and I will introduce myself and then my colleagues will introduce themselves and give an update from their different departments. And then go ahead and feel free to submit your questions and we will get to those questions as soon as we can. So without further ado, I will introduce myself. My name is Jatan Davis and I am the Assistant Director of New Media Communications for the Enrollment Division. And without further ado, we will start with you.
Good evening, my name is Bill McKenney. I'm an Assistant Director in the Office of Housing here at Notre Dame. We have some very exciting things going on right now in our office as you all are eagerly waiting your assignments for the coming academic year to find the community that you're going to live in. We're just waiting for everyone to get together and provide us with information of all your applications. If you still need to provide a medical request, such as you have allergies and you need to request air conditioning, those forms should have all been turned in. If you still need to submit one, you can do that this week into Monday morning. We're working on assignments. Our goal is to have those out sometime in July. We don't have an exact date yet. You can keep track of our up-to-date status on that by following us on Twitter, our ND Housing Twitter account. Get more up-to-date information as we get closer to making our assignments available to everyone.
Sounds pretty good. We actually have a question before we get to you, Connie. We have a question. Will the students be able to choose how many roommates they have?
All of our first-year assignments are random assignments, so it may be that you're randomly assigned to a double, to a triple, to a quad. It really depends on your assigned hall's availability and capacity. The only thing we do know is that all first-year students will not be assigned to singles. They are all going to be assigned a roommate that will be a fellow first-year student.
Okay. And I believe you mentioned the students can follow you on Twitter to stay up to date on when those announcements will actually be made. And did you say your Twitter hashtag?
Yeah.
Can you say it again?
Handle is @NDHousing. It's a good account. You'll use it a lot this summer. We're going to start giving some information about what makes each hall a unique community. And then we'll also let you know when we're getting a little bit closer to announcing our date so you can keep an eye on your Notre Dame email account.
Great. And when they find out their dorms, will they also be given their roommates' information?
It's a very good question, yes. You'll have to log back into Home Under the Dome, which is the website where you create your application. And there it will list your room, your hall assignment. It also lists any roommates, whether it be that one roommate that you're living with in your room, but also whoever may be a suite mate in the room next to you that you connect to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Connie.
Hi, I'm Connie Morrow. I'm the Assistant Director of Office Operations at the University Health Center. I help manage the insurance program that is sponsored through the Aetna Student Health, as well as I manage the front office of the Health Center. Some of the quick overviews of the Health Center are, once the academic year begins, we're open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We have 3 physicians Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and we're staffed 24/7 by nurses. In addition to that, we have an on-campus pharmacy with Walgreens. We have an inpatient unit that houses up to 8 students should they need to be in a hospital setting versus their dorm room. We have our own x-ray facility and our own lab on campus. So we try to keep everything on campus so the students don't have to go off campus for any services. That's pretty much it.
Great. And of course, we have questions for you coming through. How does a student sign up for school insurance?
They go to aetnastudenthealth.com and they just register under the University of Notre Dame's website, and it'll say enter your school name, and you just put in Notre Dame, and then it'll take you to the application. For undergrads who are not international students, you do have to pay Aetna directly. So Aetna will ask you at the end of your enrollment application if you want to pay all at once or on a quarterly basis. And so you can sign up to pay in 4 quarterly installments, and it will ask you for your bank account number or a Visa, and then it would just automatically charge that. If you're an international student, you're automatically enrolled.
Okay. And so we had a question come in for an international student asking if the cost of the insurance was actually covered in financial aid offer. And so
no,
it's not.
It's
okay.
not. It would have to be an additional request.
Okay, for international and domestic.
Yes.
Okay. And does health services offer flu shots?
We do. We have a flu blitz mid-September, early October. We have about 3,000 to 3,800 flu vaccines available, and we do it over a 3-day course. The students all receive an email, and then we offer it usually 3 days a week, 12 hours until the vaccine is gone. And it's free at no cost to the students.
Right. And we have some questions in about immunizations, and they want to know if, for example, if they're coming from internationally and they received their mandatory BCG immunization in Bolivia when he was born, and his doctor said that he could possibly be positive, what would the course of action be?
So as an international student, they'll get an email with mandatory TB testing dates, and the nurse will screen each individual student. And if they have the BCG vaccination, normally I believe they go straight to a chest x-ray. But I'm not a nurse, so when they come in for that orientation, the nurse will sit with them all one-on-one. But they will get an email about August 1st of what time they need to show up.
A lot of specific questions. We'll hold some of those. And we'll go ahead and go to you, Shauna, to start talking about orientation, and then we'll come back to all the other questions that are still flowing through.
So my name is Sean Warnert. I'm an associate faculty member in the first year of studies. For those of you who participated in the first session, you heard all about the first year of studies, information about registration, your course selection form, and all of that. For this session, I'm going to be focusing more on the orientation side of things. The first year of studies is your collegiate home for your first year at Notre Dame, and it's really the start of a year-long relationship with your own academic advisor. In that relationship, it starts over the summer, but the first time that you'll actually meet with that relationship, unless you come on campus during the summer, is probably during orientation weekend. On the Saturday of orientation, there will be a session where all students that have a specific advisor will go with that advisor to a room, there'll be a presentation, and you will hear all about who that advisor is and what the expectations are for the year as it pertains to the first year of studies and your academics. Orientation does have a website, orientation.nd.edu. That will be kept up to date. There is also a mobile website, m.nd.edu, that you'll be able to use during the orientation weekend. The schedule for orientation was sent to you during our last mailing that you got at the beginning of June. So when you received your academic guide, also in that packet of information, you should have received a brochure. I'm not sure if you can actually see this or not, but a brochure with the schedule for orientation weekend, August 22nd to the 24th. So you can refer to that brochure for the events. There's a lot of great information that is given during orientation. And a lot of it may feel a bit overwhelming at the time. It's okay. A lot of it will also be written down. It will be a exciting and probably tiring weekend for you, but I think throughout the weekend you'll have opportunities to meet with faculty members, with your advisor. There'll be open houses and exploration sessions available on the Saturday of orientation, and I think it's a great opportunity for you to get to know some people. So that covers orientation.
Right. We've had some questions come in even throughout the different events that we've had in April. What will the parents be doing during orientation?
That's a great question. For a lot of it, some of the formal programs, the parents will be right there alongside the students. The formal orientation program is on Saturday beginning at 1 o'clock. That is for everybody. During that session, towards the end of it, we will actually split the parents up from the students, and the students will go with their advisor to a location for the first actual meeting with the advisor. The parents will stay with the dean of the first year of studies, and there will be an orientation with the dean of the first year of studies, Dean Hugh Page, and with the Erin Hoffman-Harding, the Vice President of Student Affairs here at Notre Dame.
Great.
So there'll be a lot of things for both parents and students to do together. There are some things that are just for the students. There are some things that will be just for the parents.
Great, thank you, Sean. And I do know that we also have a parents program on campus. Barbara Kelly, who wasn't able to be with us today, leads that program, and so there will be parents of upperclassmen here to welcome the parents on campus, and they'll have some events as well. So I'm pretty sure that that program will send a communication out to the parents to let them know all the activities that they have going on for them as well. Connie, a question that we have coming in is about students who are still on their parents' insurance. Can they continue to stay on their parents' insurance, or do they have to buy the Aetna insurance here at Notre Dame?
You can stay on your parents' insurance. The only thing is that as a private institution, the Health Services Center is not in network with any facility or any other insurance company. So when you come to the health center, the charges, if there are any incurred in that visit, they get put directly on your student account, and you can print a bill through the Health Services website on InsideND. And that bill is replaces a HCFA form, which is a medical form for reimbursement. You could print that and then file it to your insurance company for the out-of-network benefit. But to also know that there aren't really any charges at the health center. To see a physician for a scheduled appointment, there is no cost. The only time there is a charge is if the physician uses a lab or a procedure or gives you medicine or supplies. But if you come in just because you have questions and he assesses you, there is no cost for that scheduled visit. If you come in as a walk-in, meaning you just walk in from between classes and just coming off the streets, then there's a $5 charge, and that goes directly to your student account. But you do not have to purchase the Aetna policy at all.
Thank you. And how will students know if their physicals and immunization forms have actually been submitted to you?
They would be, they should know if they've submitted them, because they have to go online to University Health Services and enter their immunizations directly online. Then they send us the paperwork verifying their immunizations, and then the nurses go through them individually and verify the immunizations. If they are deficient in any vaccination, they will receive an email through their ND email account stating what they have to get to be compliant.
Great. So this is a perfect scenario of no news is good news if they don't hear.
If they don't hear from, and if they go back to Health Services, the log on, they should see that they're compliant or not compliant once we verify them. If they're not verified right away, we are running at about 4 to 5 day turnaround. So if they mail them to us probably within the next week, they would be verified.
Okay. Thank you. So we have a question. How do students and parents actually move onto campus?
It's actually a really good question. We have 6,400 beds on campus, and such a campus that is more pedestrian friendly than car friendly. It's quite a dance for us on move-in days. The way it works for first-year students is all first-year students are originally coded to arrive on Friday, August 22nd. Our move-in times for first-year students are between 9 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. So what we'll do, 1 p.m. What we'll do is we split the first-year class in half, and it's based upon their room assignment. So half the first-year student class will move in between 9 and 10:30 a.m., and the second half will move in between 11:30 and 1 p.m. That way we have a decent split of the class and gives more space and time at the halls to receive them. All students will come, you'll drive, and you'll be assigned a staging lot at one of our exterior parking lots to wait in line by hall. And then we'll release you to go up and park right next to your hall. There'll be members of hall staff and to assist you and make sure that you get your car unloaded in a timely fashion so we can bring that next car to campus. Because when we have anywhere between 50 to 150 first-year students moving into a hall, got plenty of cars we got to get there, and basically a 3-hour window that we try to move everyone in. What will happen is every first-year student will be mailed one of these move-in cards. It's two-sided. That explains exactly what parking lot to go to, what time they are assigned, and all that's done after we do the first-year assignment, so we know that you live on the first floor, you're going to move in during that first time frame. You can also find information about move-in on our website, housing.nd.edu/move-in, one word. You can go there. It has information about what all the move-in times are. So say in a couple weeks you find out I'm going to live on the first floor. You can find out when your move-in time will be before you get this move-in card. You can also start looking at information about items you should probably bring to campus, recommend items, what items we tell you not to bring to campus, and there's some other information about truck and trailer. We don't allow trucks that are too big. We don't allow any trailers on campus. So there's some policies and information about that on our move-in website.
Great. Will you have any information about whether the students need extra long sheets for the beds and what furniture is provided?
That's also on that move-in sheet that they can find of what to bring to campus. In a standard typical room, each student is provided a bed that is extra long sheets. They're 80-inch long bed sheets that you need to look for. You go to most major stores like a Bed Bath Beyond, Target, they'll have a ton of them out these days as people are starting to pack for campus. You'll be provided a desk. You'll be provided a wardrobe or a dresser or closet of some sort. It varies by the hall, and each hall has different amenities on that. When you get assigned your hall, each hall website will provide a little bit more detail about what's specifically in the amenities for that hall. Because we do have 29 different residence halls that were built over a span of so many hundred years, so we do see different types of amenities. But each hall-specific website gives a little bit more information to their first-year students to expect a wardrobe, to expect a dresser, to expect this type of desk or that type of desk.
Right. And so, what sense of timing? We have a question here from Emily, who she says she understands she can't ship things ahead of time.
Yep.
Are there other options if a student does want to ship things ahead of time?
Unfortunately, because we just don't have the facilities on campus, you cannot ship anything to arrive until you are already there to receive it. So if you want to drop it in the mail on the Thursday before you move in on Friday, you're obviously going to beat that package here unless you live across town from Notre Dame. So you're welcome to do that, but you can't send it 2 weeks in advance because we just don't have the facilities on campus to store that in the residence halls.
And if we have some very anxious visitors on campus this summer, after they get their dorm assignments, are they able to get a sneak peek into the dorm?
Unfortunately, we're just not able to do that. During the summer, we have over 20,000 guests that spend at least one night with us for sports camps, high school academic groups, conferences. So we're using all of our halls during the course of the summer. And then we have to clean them and get ready for all you guys to come back to school. So we just can't do that. So unfortunately, if you were to come to campus, we won't even be able to show you your room. Welcome to come visit, walk around, see the exterior of the hall, but we can't show you your room or let you in.
That'll just make coming in August all the much sweeter, right?
Exactly. It's the surprise that everyone gets when they get to move in on that Friday.
Yeah. Thank you. We have another question here, Connie, regarding insurance. If a parent's health insurance does not allow prescriptions to be filled at Walgreens, will the doctor be able to provide a prescription that will be provided at a closer pharmacy?
Yes, so the doctors will, in any case, whether it's a prescription, an x-ray, or a lab, the student is not obligated to get it filled or have it performed at the health center. So the doctor will give them a script or an order, and they can then take it off campus to any provider that is in their insurance network or that their parents want them to go to. So yes, we will write anything that they already have a script for or a new script. And we also do have a taxi service that if the student doesn't have transportation, we would arrange for a taxi to pick them up and take them to an off-campus appointment or facility.
And we also had a question about physical report forms. Again, another one. When are they due? Is there an actual due date where students must have them submitted?
We've asked that all the immunization records, which is page 1 of the medical history and physical report, be turned in by July 1st, and that the information be entered onto the website as well. The actual physical form, which is page 4, can come in anytime prior to their entrance to school.
And so, Sean, we're actually still getting some other questions about requirements and everything from the first session, I think, that we had. And the question that came in from Erica is, how does she demonstrate that she has a foreign language skills to meet the immediate language requirement for her major?
It depends on the language, but there is a placement exam for almost all of the languages. Some of the common languages, Spanish, French, German, Latin, all have online placement exams that they can take. Those are linked through the first year of studies tab on Inside ND. You should be able to access them through that. Once you take that exam, that score will get entered into your academic record for us to utilize. And if you place at a higher level, you will be able to take that higher level course. Your advisor will look for those exam scores and will build your schedule accordingly. In order to meet a language requirement for a specific college, each college has a different language requirement. So I would suggest actually talking with an advisor in the first year of studies to find out the specifics about your specific situation.
And then we have a question as far as orientation. Are there any ways of transportation from South Bend, from the South Bend Airport to the Notre Dame campus for those that may be traveling alone?
The South Bend Airport does have taxi service that I believe that can run from there. And I
They'll do flat rates during the move-in weekend because they know so many students are coming in, so they won't just charge. It'll be a flat rate, and I can't remember what usually is. It's maybe like $15, $20 or a flat rate from the airport onto campus.
And so we have a question from a student that lives a little bit closer to campus. If they're scheduled to move in early but live 4 hours away, is there any way to change to the later move-in time?
Sadly, our times are structured in a certain way because of where you're in the building, elevator usage, and the halls that have elevators. We'd like you to come in that other time. If you come in the second time, like say you're assigned the 9 a.m. time and you show up at the 11:30 time, you'll probably have to wait until we get everyone from that 11:30 time in because it's their priority time.
And then microwaves. Microwaves, are they allowed in the dorm rooms?
Microwaves are not allowed in our residence halls. With the age of some of our buildings and their electrical coding, we do not allow them. It produces a fire hazard. However, all the halls do have microwaves available. Some have them one on every floor in the common area. There'll at least be one in the kitchens in every hall. So you don't need to bring one if you just need to heat up that ramen noodle or microwave popcorn. Whatever you need to do, you can always do that in your hall. And the custodial staff keeps them clean, keeps them ready to go for all the residents. So you'll have access within your residence hall.
Great. So you'll still be able to use a microwave. And then for international students that move in a little earlier, right? August 19th?
That's actually, you're right, and the placement test is an example too. All of our first year students, like I said, get co-ed Friday. There will be some that will arrive earlier. For those of you who need to take a placement exam, the placement exams are actually on Friday, so students who take placement exams, and there's about maybe 100, 150 of them, they will arrive on Thursday, and I believe that's the 21st between noon and 3 p.m. move in on Thursday, take the placement exam on Friday while everyone else is moving in. We also have people who may be auditioning for band or be part of an ROTC program. They will be moving in on Wednesday. So if you're auditioning for the band office will send us your name saying, hey, John Smith needs to come in on Wednesday between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. is when you'll get to move in, and then you can go ahead and start your auditions for the band while everyone else is still making their way to campus. International students need to work with the Notre Dame International office. International orientation actually starts on Tuesday, the 19th, and those students will move into their assigned academic hall on Tuesday evening between 7 to 9 p.m. As soon as the orientation is done for the evening, they'll help you get your bags and your suitcase into your residence hall for that evening so you can stay there on Tuesday night.
And for those who do need to take a credit exam or placement exam for language or the math credit exam on that Friday, the 22nd, there is a registration deadline for that of July 1st. And if you do not register for your exam by July 1st, we cannot guarantee that you will be able to move in early in order to do that exam early. We have ways that you can still take the exam, but we may not be able to guarantee that you can move in early.
We have a question here, maybe a concerned parent or maybe a very responsible student. Can you elaborate on the dorm security, the entry and exit after hours, room locks, etc.?
Great. So first off, when you arrive to check in, everyone is going to get their student ID card, and everyone is going to get a brass room key that is, and those are the two pieces of security that you have to get you in and out of your room. The swipe ID card that you get, that everyone gets, lets you check out things in the library, meals in the dining hall. It's used for everything. It's also used to gain access into your individual residence hall, 24 hours a day. You can get into your residence halls. It can also let you get access into other residence halls. So you want to go visit your friend across the way. During certain times of the day, you'll be able to swipe into their main door to go visit them without having to get checked in or having them come let you in. So that is how we can make sure that all the doors stay unlocked and that only students are going in and out of our buildings. Your actual room door is a brass key, like I said, that you and your roommate get. No one else gets them. We do keep very, very tight watch on those. If you lose a key, we do charge you $100 so that we can record for your own safety and for your roommate's safety to make sure that there are no issues if that key were to get lost and somehow they found their way back to your room.
Thank you. Now, Connie, we have some more questions about health insurance here. If a student, they want to make sure that students are not automatically enrolled in health insurance.
Undergraduate domestic students are not automatically enrolled. Only graduate students and international students are mandatory automatically enrolled into the plan.
Okay, so no proof of insurance is required. They just, okay. And then if a student actually leaves school grounds, does their insurance go with them?
If they have the Aetna Student Health through the school, yes, it covers them whether they're on campus, off campus, leave the United States, go to their home country. It covers them wherever they go for one school year from August 15th of 2014 to August 14th of 2015.
And we seem to still be getting a question about dorm assignments. I think we have people still joining us, so can you give us a recap on when the students will know?
Our plan is to begin making assignments here shortly. If you still need to turn in a medical request form for like air conditioning because you have allergies, or if you need some medical assistance, we need those really by Monday at the latest, because that's when we hope to begin making the assignments. It takes us a couple weeks to get them done, so we want to make sure that everyone is assigned properly and that we have everything taken care of so no one is misassigned. So we probably are looking to get those out here sometime in mid-July, maybe a little earlier if things go well. We'll communicate that through your Notre Dame email, and you can also follow us on @NDHousing on Twitter. We'll be giving some updates, also kind of getting people excited about the different halls and the different communities we have.
Great, thank you. About orientation, are siblings able to attend?
My recommendation for siblings is that if the siblings have nowhere else they can be, absolutely they can be there. They can hang out with the parents, but it really is for the parents and for the students. Everything is designed with that in mind, but siblings, like I said, if they can't be anywhere else, absolutely they can be there.
And then regarding dorms, if a student has any health conditions such as asthma, is there any way they can notify you of that information to hopefully request an air-conditioned dorm?
Yes, you can. Those are due, like I said, as soon as possible so we can make that request. We just need a doctor's note from your office saying what your condition is and that it requires to be placed in an air-conditioned building. We have 10 air-conditioned residence halls that we then will randomly assign you within, as opposed to the 29 other ones that we have. Well, 29 total that we have, the 19 others.
And where are those forms where they can fill out that information?
It's not a form. It's really you just need to fax us or email housing@nd.edu a scanned copy of your doctor's note. If you aren't hearing back from us, that's good news. It means that we got it. We're coding it. It's fine. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to just give our office a call and check and see that we received it. If you think maybe that fax didn't go through or something like that, but if you email it to housing@nd.edu or you fax it to us, we're going to have it and we'll make sure it's on file.
And then we have a question about students who are on their parents' insurance that is not the Notre Dame insurance. I believe you said it earlier, but can you just repeat the process for them if they have a cold and they need to come to
Sure.
health services?
The health center is for all students on campus, whether they're insured by Aetna's plan or their own plan. So they can come over by an appointment, call the health center and make an appointment, or they can walk in. And they will have note, if they make an appointment, there's no cost to see the physician. If they walk in without an appointment, it's a $5 charge that goes to their student account, and then within 48 to 72 hours, they can print a bill that they then can file with their insurance for reimbursement. The only charges that are typically assigned to students would be immunizations, prescriptions, medical supplies, or if there's procedures like stitches that a doctor would have to perform, and then those services are automatically charged to their student account. So we don't take insurance at the health center at all. So everything is the responsibility of the student unless they have the admin plan.
Thank you. And Bill, can you just rehash on International Move-In Day? We got some different information here.
Yeah, so we'll hold their orientation starting on the 19th.
Okay.
I believe that's the date they're starting. They did, but official move for them will be on the 19th in the evening into their academic year placement. They may allow you to move in. They may be putting you up, I think, in maybe a hotel on the 18th, or due to international flights, you need to come in a day early. That is their program, but I know that I'm working with them to make sure all of our students who need to come for international student orientation can move into their assigned academic year hall on the 19th between 7 and 9 p.m.
And Sean, do you know, as far as parent activities, will they have activities throughout Sunday? Should they plan on staying on Sunday, or will the activities conclude a little earlier?
For the parents, I believe the activities will end a little earlier. We encourage, after the Sunday morning mass and lunch, that the parents give their son or daughter a great big hug and drive home and let the school year begin for their son or daughter.
Thank you. And so when students move on campus and they come here, they see what furniture is already in the room, and they want to get refrigerators and so forth, where can students get those supplies?
Great question. There's a couple ways you can do that. Obviously, you're going to move in on Friday. You're going to have all that excitement, but the orientation schedule does have some breaks in the evenings and some of the mornings where you can go do some shopping. There are plenty of outlets off of campus. There are Targets, Bed Bath & Beyond, Walmart's, all within driving distance, all within 10 minutes of campus, that it's easy to go drive there and bring it back to campus, and we'll make sure that you have access to drive up to your hall and don't have to haul a fridge across half of campus or anything like that. Also, the Student Activities Office does a fall mall in the Steffen Center where they sell some of those items. Like if you needed to get sheets, they'll have sheets there. If you needed to get a micro fridge or a fridge, you can get a fridge there. Just some of those things that, especially for people who have to fly here from California or from international destinations, you can get some of those items that you really are needing in a room, and they'll work with you on that.
Okay. Of course, we have a question about football tickets. I know we don't have anyone from Student Affairs here right now. Do you know if they will get that information during orientation?
I don't know when they do the football tickets for parents, but I know for students that information will come out here when they start coming for orientation and first get hear about how to apply for your tickets. Parents, I think that comes out maybe in the late summer.
I believe the parents will get a thing in the mail. I know the students will get it during their dorm orientation.
Okay. So students will get it first, and then the parents will get it a little shortly after. All right. And we have a question about laundry. Is it cash or coins or by card?
It's actually both. You can do coin laundry in the residence hall, but actually it's cheaper if you use your ID card. You can put Domer dollars on it, and I think it's like $1.50 to wash, $1 to dry, and they'll charge you $1.50 for a wash and 75 cents for a dry. So you save a quarter on either end if you use your ID card, and you can put money on your Domer dollars on your Flex Points through the ID card office before you arrive, so that way you're all set. If your parents want to put some on there, so they know that you have money to do laundry while you're here, it can be a really good savings. There's also St. Michael's Laundry that you can do to send your laundry through as well.
Great. All right, and then we have some questions about furniture.
Okay.
Do the dorms have bookshelves?
The residence halls, most of them have modular furniture, which means that you're able to loft the bed up on top of your dresser, your wardrobe, and your desk. That way it creates more space. It then the bed would sit about maybe 5 to 6 feet off the ground and have a ladder for it. And that's in most of our residence halls. In Mod Class, so PE, PW, Siegfried, not. And in Soren Hall and some rooms in Lewis Hall, those rooms do not have modular furniture. So you'll want to specifically talk to your recreation hall staff about that furniture. But on the bookshelf side, on the desk side, there is a small shelf there. Sometimes I've seen students who've used that. They put it in the drawers there in the desk, or they maybe bring like a crate thing that you can buy, like a Bed Bath & Beyond or a Target or any of those stores that they can just store their books in as they're coming and going from class.
And we have a question here from regarding international parents. Do you know if there'll be any translators on hand for the parents that are coming in internationally?
That is a great question, and I don't know the answer to that. I would check on the orientation website, orientation.nd.edu,
I don't believe.
but I don't.
Well, I definitely know we have someone in our office on the recruitment and communications team that oversees our international recruitment, and so we can definitely get an answer to that question and get back to you on that.
But keep in mind, too, that much of students, international students, their orientation will take place during that week prior to the standard orientation. So they'll have a whole lot of information and through ND International. Take care of them.
We'll definitely look into that because we definitely think that's important, and be sure to communicate that information either via our social media channels, or we may even do another one of these sessions for international students as well. All right. So we have a lot of different questions here that are about furniture and are there any pieces of furniture? Are there any things that students can bring? I'm seeing a lot of, can I bring a futon? Can I bring this and that? What can they not bring?
Like I said, our website lists some of the big things that they can't bring. You can't bring a full-size fridge. We limit it to 5 cubic feet, so you can't bring that big full-size fridge or freezer that you want. One of the things I once read in our house is that you can't bring a hot tub or a water bed. Things like that, they're a little crazy. Definitely can't bring. The microwave is the big thing. The limitations on the fridge size. Those are the things that you want to keep in mind. Also, all the furniture that's provided to you in your room when you arrive. So that chair, desk, wardrobe, bed, dresser, those things have to stay in the room while you're there. So planning to bring 4 couches is probably not the ideal situation, but most rooms can fit a futon in there of some sort, and then people set up their TVs on a various accommodation of things. So each room does have that flexibility to bring in some sort of seating element other than just the desk chairs that we're providing.
We got a really, really funny question in here that I have to ask. Bobby asks, at move-in, will kids be bunking beds, rearranging, etc., such that dad will be, quote-unquote, working a move-in?
Yes, that is a great team-building effort for everyone in the family to come take part of. And there's, for some of the halls where the furniture, that's what your RAs are there for. That's what some of the upperclassmen or your freshman orientation leaders are there for. They'll really kind of help talk to you about what are some great ways to arrange that furniture, things that maybe, hey, I lived in this room my first year. This is how we set it up and gave us the most space. That's what's so great about our residential communities, because people stay in there year after year after year. It's the knowledge gets passed down about how to set up furniture, which way gets you the most space. Maybe I don't want to sleep 6 feet off the ground. Well, why don't you bunk the beds? That way you can get more space doing that. So it's about working with your roommate and working with the knowledge of the furniture that we provide.
Great, great. So we want to thank you all for tuning in, and we hope that these sessions have been very helpful for you. If you do have more questions, there are a number of ways in which you can contact us. You do have our information here, and you will see that you can find us on the Notre Dame website. We have a directory there, and you can find all of our information. Also, as Bill mentioned here, several of us our offices are actually on social media. We're on Twitter. So, of course, ND Admissions, we are definitely on Twitter. If you have any questions, submit your questions to us there. And, Bill, I'll let you give your handle.
At ND Housing is our office Twitter, and like I said, we're going to have some good information coming out. And, again, probably letting people know about when to expect those first-year assignments when we get a little bit closer to the date. So it's a good thing to keep on. And then during the academic year, when to apply for housing, when to do all the things that are mandatory and to keep you living on campus and knowing what's going on campus.
Great. What's the best way to contact?
The best different way to contact me is at my email. If you have specific questions about the insurance plan or the facility and what we offer, you can directly email me. My email information is at University Health Services, uhs.nd.edu. If you have specific medical questions, you can email the nurse, and that email address is uhsrn@nd.edu, and then we get back with you within 24 hours.
First year of studies, you can contact us through our website, fys.nd.edu. You can also email us, fys@nd.edu. And we're also on Facebook, the First Year of Studies at the University of Notre Dame Facebook. So if you haven't already liked us on Facebook there, it's a great opportunity to do so before you log off on your computer right now, and lots of great information will come from that Facebook page.
And you're also on Twitter at Indy First Year as well.
We are, yes, at ND First Year.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you all again for tuning in, and we will sign off, and we look forward to seeing you here in the fall.